Good morning. Today is January 20th and it's Monday, Martin Luther King Day. And I wanted to get on this morning. I just got back from the gym, took my shower, dried my hair because it's only in the 40s and I'm going to meet my girlfriend to go for a walk. So I didn't want to go out in the cold with a wet head. So I got out of the shower, dried my hair, and we're going to meet up in about 30 minutes. I wanted to hop on to say that just to give a little bit of an update, I had said last week or the week before, hey, I'm going to try, a lot of bone broth, less carbs, all that kind of stuff. And I haven't weighed myself, obviously, because I'm only weighing myself once a month, so I won't know until the end of January how effective it is. But I feel so much better. Like, my mind is so much clearer, and it's not that I'm having no carbs. I am still having carbs because I know when I go to my daughter's baby shower this coming weekend that I definitely will have cake and pasta because that's the food that I ordered to have catered for the baby shower. So I know that I'll have carbs there, so I'm not going to be completely without carbs. And then hopefully after that, then I will get myself completely off sugar. I can't even tell you how much better my mind is working and how much more motivated I am. Now my knee is getting a little bit better. I'd say it's probably, I don't know, if I had to take a guess, like 85% healed. I can stretch it a little bit more in different areas than I was able to before, and I'm certainly able to walk, 3 to 5 miles now without it, completely swelling up in the back of my knee. So I don't know if it's a combination of everything that I've been doing or what, but one of the things that I found on Instagram while I was scrolling at one point, a lot of the things that'll show up on my Instagram feed are religion or exercise or naturopathic remedies for, whatever type of ailments. Anyways, and one of the things that I found was just some exercises that the guy was doing standing up, but since I can't do them standing up right now because I don't want to put the extra weight on my knee, I've just been doing them in a seated position, so primarily in the sauna or on one of the benches outside the sauna once I get out of the sauna. So it depends which sauna that I go to. I have two gyms that I can go in between. They're both relatively the same distance from my townhouse, so one of them that I'll go to, the temperature in that sauna is 20 degrees less, and then the other one is much hotter, so I can't spend as much time in the hot one. Anyways, the muscles, I can see a direct correlation between those exercises and the muscles that are forming in my legs. So I'm really heavy, so I can just start seeing the definition of the muscle. I can't really see it pop out from from all the fat that's around it or anything like that, but I certainly can tell the formation of it, how I'm standing, how I'm holding my posture, those types of things. And I've just been super consistent with doing that. Even over the weekend when I'm just challenging myself to get out and walk in nature instead of being in a gym. For the last 2 weekends, I've made sure that after my walk, I've gone into the sauna and then I've done those exercises. And I think just being consistent with that has really, really helped me. This past weekend, this weekend, I'm so grateful to be off for an extra day out of work this week. And then I'm off on Friday too. So this work week is really just a 3-day work week for me, which is super exciting. I love my job, but I do like time off as well. The other thing that I've been thinking about is, one of the goals that I have, so I'll just put this out there. One of my goals that I have that I wrote down and I gave to my son is to double my income in the next 3 years. So I've been racking my brain about how is it that I'm going to double my income? Am I going to add value? How much more value can I add to our company? And while I know that there's big opportunities there certainly are areas for growth and stuff. How can I not be completely dependent on that company in case, I get let go at some point or, I decide that I don't want to be there any longer? I have a feeling that both of my direct bosses will retire within the next 5 years. So I should have an exit strategy out of that company within the next 5 years, just in case. Just in case the next supervisor that I go to isn't where I want to be. So it's just an exit strategy. It doesn't necessarily mean that that will happen. I just want to be able to develop some skills in the meantime. So what I decided to do this weekend is to go get QuickBooks certified. And so I started that certification course this weekend, and it's a little foreign to me. It seems a little bit backwards. Also, but I'm going to continue with it and see what I can do there. And then start a small business and offer bookkeeping services to very small startup businesses, and get my foot in the door that way. So that's what I'm going to do as my part-time job outside of my full-time job. Once my son graduates, I will have, I do have plenty of time right now. I'm not going to, normally I would fill some of my nights with church groups. And like there's a women's theology group at church that I really like. And I had done 2 full versions of the divorce care group after my ex-husband and I separated. So those were really good ways for me to get involved in the church. There's tons of people now that know my story at my church, and although I don't feel real connected at that church, I have a couple of friends that know me from that church, but not super connected. I will tell you though, yesterday morning I went physically to church. My church has online services, so you can either go to church or watch them online. And I can tell you, like, there's such a big difference when I actually attend church versus when I just watch it online. And I absolutely love it. I love the energy. I feel the Holy Spirit. I feel the presence of the Holy Spirit at church. And I just absolutely love it. It's just a hard thing. It's like, 15 miles from here. So I've got to actually get up and drive, which is not such a big deal. But, sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. And more often than not, I do. But in the last month, I haven't been, just because, walking in general has been challenging with my knee. So now that it's not, I'm going to make more of an effort to get out and do more things and make myself more available to, to church and to other things. However, one of the other things, so I'm really looking forward to finishing my certification. It does say that it should take me 2 or 3 weeks, so I'll give you guys a status update on that. One of the other things that I did this weekend, because I told you that I finished my John Deloney book last week, I read this book over the weekend, Money's Not a Math Problem. And it's a really quick read. It's like 75 pages or something like that. And it's a good book. It goes over the basics of the Dave Ramsey principles and how to get started on an actual budget, which I think is super important when you are starting to get out of debt, to learn that principle and then to really follow it, because that makes all the difference in the world, is putting yourself on an actual budget. Now, I've been on a budget for 15 years, so the book was a lot of review to me, but I did get a couple things out of the book which I think were valuable to me, and they're things like, hey, I don't budget for clothes. I need to budget for clothes, right? I do spend money on clothes, not a lot, but I do spend money on clothes. And I also, one of the biggest areas that I hadn't covered up to now, like one of the things that it identifies is when people put in their budget, hey, groceries, but don't call out eating out as a separate line item, or household things that you need, toilet paper, paper towels, cleaning supplies, those types of things. You tend to go over in those areas because you're not actually budgeting for them. And then the one other item that I know that I don't budget for, which I do spend some money on, is maintenance on our vehicles, both my vehicle and my son's vehicle. I don't budget for those types of things, but I should be budgeting for new tires, new brakes, the oil changes. I'm super anal about getting oil changes on time. So each of our cars is new, and at 1,000 miles they had an oil change, and then every 5,000 miles after that. So I have a teenage son. He drives a lot. I drive a lot. So I need to And our oil changes are synthetic oils. That's what both of our cars, they're both Toyota brands. That's what both of them are recommended for the oil changes. So they're not as cheap as they could be if we were just using regular oil. And I probably could get away with using regular oil because I do change my oil on a very regular basis, but I'm just going to go with what the manufacturer recommends. So anyways, if you are trying to get out of debt and you never have used a budget, this is a good book to get you started. And the reason that I read the whole thing, because it was very early on that I realized that this was repetitive to a lot of information that I know, is this woman and her husband, obviously are younger than me, much younger, and but they paid off over $450,000 worth of debt in 7.5 years, right? So here I am, you know, thinking, how am I going to get rid of $100,000 worth of debt? You know, with a very good shovel. I have a very good shovel to get myself out of debt, but you know, it's doable. So it was practical information and then also inspirational, even though it was a little repetitive to things that I already do. Anyways, if you're trying to get out of debt, you've never created a budget, you've never stuck to a budget, this would be a good book for you to start. And like I said, it's only like 70 something pages, so I read it in a weekend. It was a good book. And it is by Jade Warshaw, just in case you didn't get to see the full title. Anyways, I'm starting to make some plans on creating a new business after I get certified. I'm going to start doing the paperwork, and I did reach out to my ex-husband this morning and just say, hey, can we actually file for our divorce now that we've been separated for 2 years? I think it's time, you know, so I'm just waiting on some paperwork from him, and then we can actually file. And what the paralegal told us initially, I mean, we started this process, you know, 6 weeks after we got separated. The paralegal said, you know, once you actually file, because you guys don't have, you know, complicated divorce, it should only be 6 to 10 weeks before you're actually divorced. So I'm going to get that moving, not for any, you know, particular reason. I'm just ready to close that chapter. Now that I've grieved, I've come to terms with the loss of that relationship. I'm okay to move forward, and my moving forward does not include, you know, another relationship or anything like that. I'm not open to any of that stuff right now. I did tell my son when his dad and I got separated 2 years ago that I certainly wouldn't even consider dating before he graduated high school. Now he graduates in May, but I'm still not open to it. One of the things that I said to him and to my daughter is I haven't really been single since I've been 15 years old, so 40 years. And so when you're always constantly a part of a relationship, you don't really get to 100% develop who you are. So I want to spend, you know, the next 5 years doing that, getting to know who I am, what my personal preferences really are on my own, you know, and then I have the additional journey of becoming a grandmother and going through that stage of my life too, which is I'm super excited for, and can't wait to be able to meet my granddaughter and, you know, my future grandchildren. I'm hoping my son, you know, has children as well when he's a little bit older and married. Anyways, a super great weekend. I got to relax a lot. I actually, you know, the cleaning that I've been putting off for 3 weeks, I finally did this weekend, and so that feels a lot better. And although you guys cannot see it, I am sitting at my work desk, which has been absolutely shambles for 1.5 years. Not even a joke, 1.5 years. Basically, if someone came into my office and sat down, they'd be like, how can she work like this? Anyways, I took the time yesterday and I cleaned off my workspace, and I feel so much better with it the way that it is now. And I started also cleaning out my garage and starting to wrap my head around, you know, what I have to do to get myself ready to move out of this townhouse in July. Since I have so many other things coming before that, I've got to start timelining all that kind of stuff out to be prepared for that in July. So anyways, I wanted to say I hope you're off, and I hope you're getting to enjoy an additional day off this weekend, and I hope that you guys are having a beautiful and blessed day, and I will talk to you next time. Have a good day. Bye.